Hi guys, how is everybody doing today? Pet the Fluffy.
Hello everyone, Storm Akima here. I wanted to share with you today my experiences with certain materials when it comes to costume making and prop making. My favorite materials are Fosshape and Wonderflex. I've been using Wonderflex for a very long time. I'm sure a lot of you now have probably used it. It's been very popular for the last so many years. And I've been using it for give or take maybe around the last how old am I? 11, 12 years, I want to say. Awesome stuff. I started using Fosshape last year. I wanted to make Groot. My brother kind of motivated me to make it, and I always am up for a challenge. I've made all kinds of mascots, quad suits, always different techniques, trying to always be better, make things easier to wear. All my stuff is always very durable and lasts forever, which is great, but sometimes the weight kind of adds on to that when you start to get more durable and make things stronger and stuff. So I discovered Fosshape. It's pretty awesome, to put it lightly. With Groot, I decided to make his entire bodysuit out of Fosshape. And pretty much what it is, it looks like fleece. It's white in color. It's paintable, which is terrific. You can cut it to any shape you want. Then you can heat activate it with a heat gun. I like my heat gun. You have to be very safe with it. If you're new to this, a hairdryer, it works pretty good. It's okay. It's definitely more controlled, not as hot, so you won't hurt yourself. Please don't do that. When you heat activate a piece, it shrinks dramatically. But when it shrinks, it also gets stronger too. It's stiffer, and you can mold it into any shape you want while it's still heated. Once it cools, it maintains a certain shape, whatever you hold it into. So you can machine sew it, but before it's heat activated. You don't want to ruin your machine. I have not tried that, but I just know that it will hurt your machine. So machine sew ahead of time if you want to. I decided to do that for the main shapes that I wanted. Pant legs, for the arms, I did for the torso for parts of it. I did the main sections that I wanted together, that I knew for a fact were going to go together. I sewed those in first with the machine. Then I heat activated everything. I don't get too close with it. You don't want to burn this stuff either too much. The same as Wonderflex. You kind of use the same techniques. You want to be more gentle with the Fosshape because it will burn a lot easier. The way I like to explain it is it's, again, kind of like Wonderflex, but it has a thermoplastic weaved into a fabric, so it's more fabric than plastic. Wonderflex is the opposite. And it makes it easier to attach to things. I might even experiment with Fosshape when it comes to armor. But right now, tree bark is amazing. So what I did was machine sew the main parts. Then the smaller parts, like the vines here, I cut little cool tornado shapes. So this is an unactivated piece of Fosshape, and this is the 600 grams. They have 300 and 600, and as literal as it is, 300 is half this thickness and half as strong. It's a lot lighter. It works well too, but when it comes to main structures, I love the 600. And it's cool because I experimented with a soldering iron. I got a cheap soldering iron off Amazon. It was like $9. Don't use a really nice soldering iron because even though you could probably sand off the gunk that kind of forms once you start carving or making textures on this, you don't want to ruin a good soldering iron, so use a cheap one. It's worth the $9, $10. So I took a soldering iron after I heat activated all my pieces, and I lightly just drew all kinds of different lines and just had fun with it, almost like drawing, pencil with paper onto paper, just to get those really cool looking textures on there. And the reason why I like to hand sew activated pieces is it keeps a more individual look, I guess, where you can pinch it in certain areas and just sew it down where it folds into itself and just makes it look like things are twisting, and it gives it more of an organic feel. With the machine, sometimes it's too perfect where you can tell there's a pattern. And if you experiment with it, you'll totally understand what I'm trying to say. So Fosshape is awesome. Just wanted to give you that information, and Wonderflex as well. If you look below, I did put down what websites I do like to go to, and I have a number one favorite that is great. They're always very helpful. and always very fast with shipping. So that always comes in handy if you're a last minute cosplayer who is like, holy crud, I only have a week, I only have 3 days before the next convention, and you're pulling all-nighters and you need something really fast. So very good to know that. And I wanted to show you, first of all, this is actually not a full leg of Groot. This is actually the foot of Groot, and my foot goes here. I have extensions that I had since last year, but I didn't practice with them, so I was not ready to debut that at Otakon 2015 because I didn't want to injure myself and I didn't want to hurt anyone else around me by falling on them. So this will be premiered this last Otakon in Baltimore. I love Otakon. It's moving to Washington, so if you can go this year, it's definitely a great experience, and you meet a lot of great artists there. And I'm bringing another friend this year that is not a cosplayer at all, knows nothing about it, but he knows me, he knows what I like to do, and we have a lot of fun, so he definitely wants to experience it. My boyfriend came last year, his first time to Otakon, and we've been talking about it for years, and he really had a good time. I wasn't sure, but because he's not anti, he does appreciate what we do. He thinks it's so cool. He loves the artistry of it. But when it comes down to, just dressing up and everything, which is really cool, can be really cool. You meet a variety of different people. It's just not for everyone. And he absolutely loved it. And I was floored and I was excited. So he kind of talked it up to one of our good friends who's going to be Star-Lord this year. So we're hoping to have a whole Guardians of the Galaxy group, which I'm very excited about. Woohoo! And he really does look like Star-Lord. So I'm going to make a mask, and I'm going to do that with, I was going to try Fosshape, but I'm going to use that or do that with Wonderflex. And it's going to look really cool. So I'm going to make a tutorial on how to go about that too, if you're interested. I may put LED lights in it too. I experimented with LED lights a couple years back with Calhoun, Tamora Calhoun from Wreck-It Ralph, and it came out awesome. I'm also planning on redoing this Groot head. I love this Groot head. He's mainly Wonderflex. He is a little on the heavy side because I did use epoxy sculpt over this after I did the Wonderflex base. And I have pictures I think that I already put on YouTube. I'll double check that or I'll show you later if it's not up there. And I decided that epoxy sculpt would kind of bring out the same textures as the Fosshape would, and it actually came out pretty close too. It's pretty neat, and it just kind of adds the weight to it though. It's very sturdy, my favorite word, always very sturdy and durable, my two favorite words. And he has a movable jaw that's very fluid, extremely sensitive. So when you move your chin, of course, there could be some padding in here. I have room right here usually when I wear them, but it's so sensitive that it doesn't hurt your jaw at all. God forbid you have TMJ, jaw issues of some kind. You don't want to have a stressful jaw. A lot of movable jaws you have to be careful with because if they're stronger and you're talking a lot, you're going to get sore in the joint. I wanted to make something really comfortable, and when I'm walking half the time, he does tend to just jabber on, jabber, 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 jabber. And he's a little chapped because he does talk a lot, so simple repainting. I used acrylic paint fully for the whole suit. Simple acrylic paints. I love acrylic paints. They dry fast. I have so much patience for costumes, but sometimes towards the end when you're doing the paint, it's one of my favorite things to do, but I was just kind of rushing it because I only had like a week left or so when I went to Otakon, and I wanted to give it a few days to dry. So I kind of slammed it all on there, and it really stays on well. Doesn't really rub off. This is because it's a hard contact, constant, that kind of just chipped off things over time. But overall, pretty cool. So I will make a video as well of how I'm going to go about making a Fosshape head of Groot. This I'm probably going to sell at Otakon if anyone's interested. I do love him. And I want him to go to a good home, but he's so good. I love this thing. And I tied Rocket on there. It was kind of a joke because I made this lovely Rocket too, and I wanted him to be more life-size. And it came out really cool, but he's like a doll. Armature wireframe, Wonderflex, Fosshape, then furred. Came out great, but I didn't want to carry that around as Groot. It was just too much to kind of carry him like this. So he's going to be on sale as well at Otakon, probably at the art show. So I thought it'd be funnier just to sew and a cute little stuffed animal of Rocket that I actually got off Amazon. And I don't want to take him off right yet, but I have a really cool busy hairdo going on for Groot in here, and that's all Wonderflex as well. So, to go over everything, I am not getting paid for saying any of this. I just want to share my knowledge, and I will start putting up tutorials on how I do things. I already have these pre-made. Everyone always asks how I go about certain things, what my techniques are. My big How to Train Your Dragon toothless quad suit, that came out amazing. I did that years ago. You should always take photos and videos of all your projects. Even if you're exhausted, sometimes I get so involved in the project, I'm just done. I'm just done. I love it, and it's just you're burnt out. You don't want to see it anymore. I just needed a break from it for a while. I premiered that one at Otakon one year, and it was just a brief thing, and I was just so done, and then I just sold it, and I was like, why did I do that? Because it came out so cool. I had to sell it in parts too because it was such a big, it was life-sized pretty much, and I had to sell it in pieces because it was too big to ship or anything. So articulating wings, legs, I made 2 different heads for it, you know, and so anyways, any way I could help, please leave comments below, ask me questions, and I'll try to help you as much as I can. I've made automail. I did Tamora Calhoun from Wreck-It Ralph, that full suit that she wears, which came out epic. I might wear that for Otakon this year, we'll see. I made that demon dog Shishomaru. That was my first big costume. And now I have Groot. So Groot will definitely be at Otakon 2016, along with my friend who's going to be Star-Lord. My boyfriend's going to be Drax, but he'll just wear a shirt, and he's cool like that, so it's fine. And he kind of looks like Drax anyways, so it's cool. I'm not quite sure if anyone else is going to be cosplaying from our group for Guardians of the Galaxy, but I was going to make a rocket, an actual full-life rocket with a movable jaw. We'll see if I go there, but if I do, I'll definitely record my process in that too. So I do plan on taking you all along the journey of how I go about costume making and prop design and prop making. So any way I can help, I absolutely love doing this. It's a lot of fun. Definitely start small if you're new to it. If you're trying something completely different, again, start small. Make sure you're happy with what you're using. Fosshape, Wonderflex, amazing stuff. Definitely practice with it. My first go around with Wonderflex, I was not happy. I was not, because I had this whole idea on how I was going to do it. There was no videos online at that point how to go about it. I kind of just like figured it out myself. And it just didn't work because I had a huge scale that I was working on. I did Alphonse Elric from FullMetal Alchemist, the full-bodied armored suit, and I kind of scrapped the idea the first year I tried to make it because the Wonderflex, there was no support. I had to figure out how to go about that. Layers equals strength. You need to have layers when it comes to Wonderflex if you're working in a bigger scale. You'll figure it out as you go. Again, I'll show you all those techniques later at another video. Thank you for watching. So sorry for rambling. That's what I do best. I'm very excited about this year. So Star-Lord mask, Groot mask. You're probably going to also see me practice on stilts. I'm scared. I do not like heights. I am hardcore when it comes to wearing costumes. I used to do it to the point where I'd almost pass out. I always drink water a lot. I always make sure I'm eating something. You want to make sure your energy's up. But sometimes I just love, it sounds dorky, but I love the fans. I love meeting artists, and sometimes I just keep going to the point where I'm like, I can't, and I'm going to pass out. And my twin brother always comes with us as well, and he can read me like a book, so he knows my motions, and he's like, all right, you're done. So I usually get yelled at to, be safer, and you should all do the same. So anyways, thank you very much, and please like if you like this video. Please don't like if you don't. I want to figure out like what works well for all of you, and please subscribe if you're interested. All right, and thank you so much, and until next time, I'll see you later.